name is Denise Peck, and I'm your show host today. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the first ever broadcast of Elevate, the Millennial Leadership Program brought to you by Ascend, the largest nonprofit Pan-Asian organization for business professionals in North America. We're broadcasting our first show from Zoom's headquarters in downtown San Jose. Let me take a minute to introduce the Elevate program. After conducting research and talking to hundreds of millennial professionals, we received a lot of input on the leadership topics and soft skills they're most interested in developing and the ways in which they like to receive this training. So Ascend is responding with an engaging format for this training, an interactive 50-minute talk show focusing on a key leadership topic. We'll be demonstrating through video a common but challenging work situation, and we'll be asking a couple of experienced millennial professionals for their advice on how to deal with various situations. You may or may not agree with their suggestions, but you can certainly engage on the show through the chat room, participate in the polling, and ask questions. Finally, we'll be summarizing the key lessons from the show at the end.
Hey Nori, I'm May. I work with Roger. He told me a lot about you.
I'm kind of busy.
Aren't we all? Anyway, I'm here because we need your analysis on the wristbands that have been emitting smoke. It's part of an assessment report the CEO needs by this Friday.
What, this Friday?
Tight turnaround, I know, but it has to be done. Well, I'll let you get to it, Nori. I look forward to working together. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't see that May asked her own boss for help.
Oh, yes.
She said in the first video, wow, this is a chance to prove myself, clearly breakout opportunity to show how credible and successful and competent she can be. So does that mean asking her boss would be a sign of weakness at this point?
I actually feel it's a sign of intelligence to step in and evaluate a situation and see where you need help and quickly reach out for it. Had I been in May's shoes, I would have reached out to Roger right away, right after that interaction with Nori, and flagged it off as a risk for this project and sought his guidance, because he clearly mentioned in their first interaction that Nori is going to be probably not as cooperative as the others, so she got to watch out for it. She didn't have a plan for this situation in the beginning, but when she found out that Nori's not got to the work on Wednesday, she could have gone back to Roger and sought his inputs and guidance. I would totally do that. And seeking help is nowhere a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength and intelligence.
Based on May's background as Asian and also someone who is relatively young and junior in the organization, she might have some hesitation about asking her boss for help, because her boss clearly gave her the assignment and she wanted to be able to prove herself. And I remember in my early days as a young professional, I would want to try to do everything on my own without involving my boss or my manager necessarily. That could backfire on you, because I feel like the responsible thing to do is to do everything you can to contribute to the situation. But when you run into roadblocks, be realistic about what kind of support you need from upper management. So you can have
think about your boss. Right. So think about your boss as somebody who is part of your collaboration team.
Yes.
As
a champion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss that, and I think particularly from the Asian culture, you're absolutely right. So at this point, I think there are some options for May, and I would like to launch the second poll. I'd like to ask the audience for their views on how May could have prevented this negative surprise. Here, I'm going to look at the poll really quickly. It looks like asking Roger for coaching and documenting deliverables in writing are the right ways to go, according to the audience. I can't disagree with them at all. So thank you for your input. Larry, do we have a couple of questions coming in?
We do. I have two very interesting questions. So let me read one to you first. Bai Yang said, if May got support from the other functions and not the senior designer, Is that suggesting that it's a designer's problem and not May's?
Oh, very interesting. Johnson, do you have a point of view on that?
I think that's a very valid point. And in any organization, we'll have people who are easy to work with and people who maybe at the moment are not easy to work with. And we don't know what other priorities that Nori has on his plate. So he might just be being difficult in this particular situation, or maybe he is a difficult person overall. We don't have that context yet. But I do think as a project manager, May's responsibility is to get the work done, right? So regardless of whether someone is being difficult or not, the goal is to deliver the project report. So what May needs to think about is to use different influencing tactics or approaches that caters to the individuals.
It's not just about the outbound communication. You have to verify that the expectations and the specific commitments have been received and acknowledged, and that includes both verbal and nonverbal communication. So it's not enough to hear people say yes, but they're kind of shaking their head. You really have to look for that. So while these are the key takeaways, I'm sure some of you had additional thoughts. In general, there's really only a single effective approach to solving these kinds of dilemmas. And the approach that you decide to take will very much depend on factors unique to your situation. Our goal today is to raise your awareness of some of the obvious as well as some of the subtle ways in which you could become more influential in leading with or without authority. So with that, let me thank Gayatri and Johnson for sharing their experiences and insights, and to Larry Chang for supporting our Q&A. I also want to thank you, our audience from around the country, for your attention and engagement. And finally, a thank you to the wonderful staff at Zoom for sharing your facility and support. Even as we speak, future episodes of Elevate are being created. Since this is our first episode, we would be deeply appreciative of your feedback on the show and your experiences so that we can make it better. Again, thank you for joining us, and good day.